Jesus Trilogy, Book 2, Then There Were Two, Chapter 17. Well, how's the legs, Mr. Stud? Ramon asked. Not the best, I'm afraid, Johnny said as he shook Ramon's hand. Johnny was a big man, 6 feet 4 inches, 250 pounds. But Ramon's hand dwarfed his, and his grip was extremely strong. Welcome to the JFL, young man. Heard some good things about you, and I'd like to see them for myself. Well, you haven't come to practice to watch, Johnny said, trying to sound confident, though he was far from it. Ramon was the star of the Capernaum Chargers. He was the league MVP the previous year by virtue of making countless tackles from the middle linebacker position. Unfortunately, he was a one-man team. The Chargers finished 4-12 the year before, dead last in the JFL. There was the usual bidding war for players between the two leagues. The Jerusalem Football League and the younger, more well-financed Roman Football League, or RFL, were fierce rivals. Johnny was heavily recruited by both leagues, and when Capernaum ended up losing their last game, finishing last, they had their first pick in the upcoming draft. They wanted Simon, the Jerusalem running back. Though Johnny was bigger than Simon, Simon was much faster, and the Chargers figured Simon would make a far better pro. The Alexandria Leviathans had finished last in the RFL and drafted Simon number 1, as had the Capernaum Chargers in the JFL. The Leviathans outbid the Chargers. The Leviathans are owned by an Egyptian sea merchant, but it was widely rumored that Caesar threw in the extra cash needed to sign Simon. The contract Simon and his agent Matthew had signed was more than the Leviathans' total payroll the year before. Crowds in Cleopatra Park were sparse at best, and the Leviathan's owner and Caesar knew that Simon would fill a lot of empty seats. After all, he was originally from the region. The RFL wanted Johnny too and did try to sign him, but there was a lot of concern about his trick knee. And little Zacchaeus, Johnny's agent, though very persuasive with the RFL owners, eventually had to take the JFL Chargers' offer. The JFL, though an older league, was losing some of its prestige. It was also losing some of its better players. The new league, it was imperative for them to sign a number 1 marquee player, and all other 7 teams chipped in to sign Johnny to the largest contract ever offered to any player by the JFL. Unfortunately for Johnny, it was far less than Simon's, and the papers took hold of this fact, predicting the demise of the JFL. But football was football. It would go on in the JFL, at least for the present time. As with any other business, it would end only if the money ran out, and Johnny, understanding this, vowed in his heart not to let that happen. The first practice was no picnic. Ramon took him down in the first play from scrimmage. He took him down the second and third time as well. The coach continued to call the same play, and on the fourth run Johnny slipped. Felt a twinge in his knee, but would not give up, nor would the coach. The play was called for the 5th consecutive time, and Johnny saw the same result looming. He took the handoff, but abruptly stopped, reversed his field, and raced around the left end. With everyone keying on him and expecting another off tackle to the right, Johnny's field was wide open. His knee was screaming out in pain, but he turned up the jets anyway and outran the weak side corner in the free safety for an easy score. He spiked the ball and walked slowly back to the huddle. The coach was absolutely furious. He came up to the puffing running back and yelled, "What are you doing? When I call a play, that is the play we run, not some razzle-dazzle high school play. If you ever do that again, you're off the team. You understand me?" "Yes, sir," Johnny said, and headed for the bench, attempting to disguise his limp. "Get back out there," the coach yelled. "We got another play to run." "Yes, sir." As he crossed the scrimmage line, Ramon patted him on the rear end and said, "Welcome to the JFL.